So, um, everyone know the story about the kids that got stuck in the cave in Thailand, right?
Yes.
So why is that we like moan and like cry for the seal guy that got like, stuck and then died?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, why is that we celebrate and we honor our veterans? Why is that there's many other things. They're not doing that in their best interest, but we still respect them. Why is that? Like in the military, we sacrifice ourselves to save other people, but in business or in our daily life, we sacrifice other people for our gain. So, well, oops. And that's the concept of leadership. The leadership is born. They are not born, but they are made. And where it come from is that there are systems in our body trying to make us do the things that are in our best interest for our human ourselves. And as you know, like in companies, there's like punishment and rewards. In our body, there's the same thing too. Like if our body want us to do something good, they'll give us reward for doing it. We feel good when we do it. Or like if we do something bad, or like if we smell something bad, so we know it's not good, so we stay away from it. That's like the system in our body. And we reward ourselves with happiness chemicals. There's like generic happiness feelings like happiness, pride, joy, love, fulfillment, and all these feelings are made up from basically four of these chemicals. The first is I think that's how you spell it. And these four chemicals are from our biological reason, and it's built into our own like anthropology. It's from history of it's from evolution. So endorphins, it's only reason we have that is mass physical pain, and we like the feeling when you're working out, then you get really tired, but then like it kicks in and we can like do a little bit more because that endorphin like masks physical pain, and when it wears out, we feel like really tired. And the reason for it in caveman era is that we are like it's give us endurance, and we like when you are chasing the animal, they're faster than us, but we have more endurance, so we chase them until like they like pass out. We just like pick them up and get them home, and like the process of like bringing them home, or we getting injured while chasing them. It's endorphin give us the energy to bring them back home too. So that's endorphin. Dopamine, it's help us achieve more. It's help us to complete our objective. It help us get stuff done, and the historical reason for it is eating feels good because it's we have dopamine in it, and we don't get if we only eat when we feel hungry, we're gonna die because like food are not readily available. So that's why we have dopamine. So it gives us incentive to go out and get more food. So if you like go out, like walk outside, and you saw a like apple tree, like you get a like hit of dopamine. It's like give you make you tunnel your vision, make you focus on the goal to go toward the apple tree. Like as you get closer and closer, you get more and more dopamine until like you touch it and like you like take a bite out of it. That's when you get dopamine. And the one thing about dopamine is that it's highly addictive. The majority of addiction out there are dopamine based addiction. Uh, we can also get addicted to performance too. Because like if you look at companies now today, we don't we don't give them a reason to believe in. We don't give them a vision to follow, but we only give them a reward system to like just follow. You like you hit a goal, you get a bonus. You hit a goal, get a bonus. And if you look at any kind of addiction out there right now, uh, like they are so addicted to the dopamine hit, that they sacrifice their own resource and relationship for that hit. That's why our economy crashed. Like everyone knows it's wrong, but it's still good. So that's why they keep doing the bad thing over and over again, and that's why it's related to leadership. Is that it's the leader that set out these things to make people like just get in this like cycle of just focusing on the performance. And some other things that give us dopamine is where is it? So it's nicotine, like smoking feels good because it gives us dopamine. Gambling feels good because it gives us dopamine. Drinking feels good because it gives us dopamine. And our phones also give us dopamine.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, like if someone wakes up in the morning and they are like the craves for drinks, they might be an addict. But what's the first thing we do when we wake up in the morning?
Check our phones.
Exactly.
But it doesn't make you feel good though. Like it's just like drinking and smoking. The initial act makes you feel fulfilled, but then after a while you're just like, damn, 2 hours went by and or smoking, like, oh, I feel sick after I smoke that cigarette, but then you crave it again, or drugs or drinking, whatever.
It's the same thing with your phone. Like it feels bad, but you still do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just sit there and watch someone like take a sip, you start like craving it too.
Yeah.
And like what happened when you go eat with someone and they pull out their phone? What you do? You pull out your phone too.
Yeah.
So that's like the addictive things for dopamine.
Like, fine, you're not going to talk to me. I refuse to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And when we are growing up around teenage, like 15, 16-ish, that's like a high stress and high anxiety period of our life, because that's when we kind of like not move away from our family, but like that's when we crave the acceptance and like the openness of the, like we open ourselves up to a bigger tribe. And like it's high stress and it's high anxieties because it's training us to be around people that we are like with. We're supposed to go to our friends, to our families for our trouble, but with like if you look at alcohol addicts, most of them they found alcohol through like during their teenage year, and when like later in life, if they come up with if they meet some things that stress them out, they don't go to the people, they go to the alcohol.
Well, it's they're all coping mechanisms, and if they feel like they're because I did some stuff with, I grew up in an alcoholic household, and so when you go to meetings and stuff, it's because they can't cope with certain anxieties and things that happen in their life. So this is, and just like with phone, like if you have social anxiety or you smoke because the stress or whatever, it's just a coping mechanism that helps them feel, or they think in their mind that they can deal with things.
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. And you touched on the phone too, and that's what I'm getting to. Like when there's like when kids face like difficult times in their life, they don't turn to the people, but they turn to their phone. And like I agree that both when it's come to like school shooting, I agree that both sides are right. Guns are too easy to get, but it's also the mental problem too. Like if you look at the history of these of these people that like did the bad thing, you can definitely see that they are struggling with like deep relationship and like connection with their peers. they were all bullies and they all had mental health problem, and it stems from the inability to connect with people because they are addicted to the phone. And so I brought that up because dopamine are good because it's push us to do more, but there need to be a balance between everything.
Like what's the healthy dopamine and what's the bad part of it.
So that's so these two I would call them selfish chemical because you don't need anyone else to get these two things. So these two are selfless. These two are selfless. These two chemicals are put into our body so that it control these two selfish chemicals, mainly just dopamine, but it's also these two that make our society great. So the S stands for serotonin. Exactly.
So you said selfish and
selfless.
Selfless, okay.
So before I talk about this, I want to bring up a concept by scientists called the circle of safety. So back in the caveman era, we are living with we are also living with other hominin species, like other human species as well. We all dealt with the same danger. It's other predator, the weather, or the lack of resources. Why is that? We are the one that surpassed everyone else and became the most dominant species in the world. It's because we are social animal, and the concept is called circle of safety. So the danger, the external danger is constant, but if we made up a circle of safety, if we are around people that believe in what we believe, it's create a barrier that protect us, we protect ourselves from the outer danger. And Aesop, everyone knows him, right? Aesop knows it best. Through this, he described it best through the story of the four oxen and the lion. So the basic story is that there's four oxen that are living on a grass field, and there's a lion that's constantly trying to attack and eat the lions. But these ox, they stand tail to tail like this. So it doesn't matter what the angle the lions come in and attack them, it would always face with horn. But then due to internal conflicts and fighting, the ox split themselves up. So one into four different area of the field. So one by one the lion just takes them out. So that's the benefit to group living. So serotonin is the feeling of pride and status, and it's come from public recognition. That's why we have a graduation ceremony. That's why we have the Oscar, we have the Grammy, things like that, to celebrate the greatness in people. And the reason that we had that was from it's a anthropological reason, because back in the caveman era, there's a limited amount of food that would be given to us, and if everyone fights to get to the food, there will be no sort of circle of safety. So we become hierarchy. Yeah. And also if they are stronger than us, if they are the alpha, we automatically take a step back and give them the first choice of meat and first choice of mate. And the reason is that we give them more meat because they will get stronger and they will be filled with serotonin because we celebrate them. So when danger comes, we expect them to run into the danger to protect us. That's what leadership means. That's what leaders mean. When danger comes, we lead them into the danger, like run the other way. And we give them the first choice of mates because they might die. So that's why we give them the first choice of mates so that their gene would stay in our gene pool. And serotonin is supposed to reinforce relationship between the caregiver and the caretaker. Like if you we all graduate high school, right? So like if you walk on stage, you shook hand with whatever person you took your diploma, like you felt that like intense pride in yourself. Your parents sitting in the crowd, they also felt that pride too. So like the goal of serotonin is to make us help each other, so that it reinforces the circle of safety. But the things that serotonin can be tricked. There's a reason that we constantly feel inadequate. We constantly feel like we need to buy more things to feel better about ourselves because because it's materialistic like behavior. Like we think that we feel better, that we would be better off because we have more expensive things. That's why we have the logos on the outside of the shirt inside, because so people would see it and know that we're wearing expensive things. But and it's also that's why we're addicted to performance, because achieving more feel like we are like have higher status. But then the things with that even though you achieve more, you make more money, you wear more expensive things, you have more clients. The thing is that there's no connection made in there's no connection made, so there's no serotonin giving and receiving. Giving and receiving. So I call it the leadership chemicals because it's the cause of leadership is self-interest. So we don't become the leaders. So we would be better off, but we choose to be a leader because we are like ready to take care of other people. That's why we are so offended by politicians, by CEOs that they are abusing the leadership position to better off themselves. Like that's why like I keep saying authenticity is so important. That's why keep saying like being honest is important. So there's a journalist interviewing a marine general, and usually the Marines are never late. But this time the general was late, so the journalist asked, "Oh, what happened?" The general said that there's someone that made a mistake, and we are planning to throw them out of the Marine. So the journalist asked, "What happened?" The general said that this Marine fell asleep on watch. So the journalists were like, "What? You're gonna throw someone out because they fall asleep on base in Virginia?" It's like it's not even like in combat. It's like on U.S. soil. But the general said that you don't understand. We threw them out. We threw him out not because he fell asleep. Other people fell asleep and they got punished, and that's it. But there's nothing wrong with that. But we threw them out because when we confront him, he refused. He refused to say that he did it. And after like multiple times that we are confronting him until we give them irrefutable fact, only then that he admit that he made a mistake and he would take the responsibility for it. And the reason the Marines does not tolerate that at all, because if if we promote that Marine into danger, into combat and lead people into danger, we don't want someone to only we don't want anyone to lie and lie to make themselves look better or to save themselves. So that's and like if there's even a small amount of doubt, when you're giving out your order, it would mean everyone would likely die. So that's why dopamine refuse to tolerate.
Because they're not caring about themselves, or they're caring only about themselves and not the rest of the team or the truth.
And that's it's the same way with the politician and CEO. They are all saying the right thing, but we all know they are not being honest.
They're not relating.
So oxytocin. Oxytocin is the chemical of love, trust, and friendship. It's the feeling, that safe feeling that we sit next to someone we know, or we can spend the whole day just doing nothing with your friend, and you will still feel good. We have oxytocin, so that we would enforce our relationship with other people to make our circle of safety stronger. Some of the way to get oxytocin is that physical contact. That's why hugging feels good. That's why handshakes matter. When you are making a deal with someone, and even though they agree to everything you say, but if they refuse to shake your hand, there will be doubt. You will have doubt in your mind, because the simple act of refusing to touch your hand, trust built on relationship, and relationship built on physical touch. And when the mothers give birth, they will they will get a huge surge of oxytocin. That's why they would it was produced so that we get this instant bond with our child. Another way to get oxytocin is that human acts of generosity with nothing expect in return. It's us giving away your time and attention to help someone. Money doesn't matter. Money doesn't count, because we as an animal, we don't. Let me back it up a little bit. If you spend money, you can make more money back. But if you spend time, you will never get it back. Some do never. So a leader would ask how much. A bad leader would ask, how much do I need to give you? A leader would ask, how can I help you? And with oxytocin, actually, let me tell you the actual story, my personal story about oxytocin. So I was waiting in line at the cafeteria. The person in front of me, their bag is open, so it's stuff spilled out. So I didn't think anything about it. I pick it up and then I give it to him. So it's so I got a small dose of oxytocin because I did an act of kindness. So he turned back. He felt good. He got a kick of oxytocin too. He's like, oh, thank you. Oh, nice. And then he went away. I went out and paid. So the person was paying, was checking me out. They saw it, and they were like, that was really nice. So apparently, watching an act of kindness give you oxytocin too. So that's why these two chemicals reinforce our socialness, because it feels good to do so. And with oxytocin, the more you have in yourself, the more you want to do. So it's just build on top of each other. And even better, with the more oxytocin you have in your body, the better you are at resisting to addiction. So with dopamine addiction, you can fight that with oxytocin and interacting with other people. That's why you have the alcoholic group. group meeting, so that you are able to interact with people to have more oxytocin to your body and to stop your addiction to dopamine. Oxytocin boosts your immune system, so that's why like happy people live longer. That's why couples live longer because there's love. The problem is it takes time to build up, so you have to be patient with it. So those are the four chemical of happiness. But there's something else that I want to talk to you guys about is the big C, is cortisol. It's the feeling of stress, and there's a quote by Simon Sinek that I really like. It goes something like, "Working for something that you are not passionate about is called stress, but working for something you are passionate in is called passion." So there's a reason that you feel burnt out. I heard this a lot today. The reason is that we are not necessarily know that we are what we are in for yet, or we don't know the vision of the thing that we are working for yet, and just think about these statistics real quick. We spend a third of our life working, right? Everyone 9 to 5 every day, except weekend, working. Why is that? If you go on Google right now and do a quick search, what's percentage of the working people are unsatisfied with their work, it will be something like around, it will be anywhere from 70 to 90%. What's that like? If we spend so much of our time to work something, we feel unfulfilled by that, and it creates stress. And one of the leading causes of death right now is chronic diseases. So it's like heart problem, lungs problem, cancer, diabetes, stuff like that. And the highest cause of chronic disease are stress, and the highest cause of stress are work. So basically, if you are working and you feel unfulfilled, it's basically killing yourself. It's stress doesn't only affect yourself, but it also affects your family as well. There's studies that show that unhappy couples are more like stressed out worker, are not happily married as like people fulfilled by their work. Then there's also a study that show that parents come home stressed out from work, they are more their kids are more likely to become bullies. And the reason is that when they are stressed, they're less likely to pay attention to their kids, and the kids would do all sorts of things, good or bad, mostly bad, to get their parents' attention. Yeah. What else? Yeah. So stress not only hurting yourself, but it's also hurting your family and hurting the whole society, and we are dealing with that a lot right now.